crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is a digital asset space. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to each and every one of you. Holy moly, what a crazy time to be an early adopter in this new asset class. That is a digital asset space. UST Tether, UST stablecoin. Wow, interesting times going on over there. Rumor on the street that there's a company and or enterprise called Citadel that attacked the peg, and it worked. So I don't know if it's true or not. John Deaton kind of said, I don't know if this is true. We'll check into that a little bit. I want to definitely hear from Tasha Shea. I didn't get a chance to play it last night on the live stream because of the internet issues. So I'll play it for you guys today. Perry and Boring's on CNB Squawk Box. We'll take a listen to that. Ron Hammis has some more updates, if you will. Ron Hammond has some more updates for us. We'll check into that as well. The market is doing what the market does, which is interesting to say the freaking least. Interesting stuff. Some say that the UST stable is going to come out ahead because now it's been tested. I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's got back up to at least 92 cents, but we shall see. All right, guys, listen, this is your XRP Ripple daily news. In around 0 to 10 minutes, let's do it. The Bitcoin dominance is at 39.2%. That is not a great number. Bitcoin is at $32,225. Will we have an alt season? That is a big time question. Ethereum is at $2,453. XRP is at 53 cents. Solana's at $73.70. Still a lot of double figure reds, not as significant, but still a lot. The Terra Luna token is down to $33. It's down 60% on the 7-day. Interesting stuff. For some reason, Tron just continues to just live in its own, just survive in his own lane here. It's green, 19% on the 7-day. Trading at 8 cents. Interesting stuff going over there. Algorand is in the green, interestingly enough, 65 cents, 5.7% up on the 7-day. Double figure reds on ApeCoin. Lot of double figure reds. So it's still blood in the streets for the most part, right? I'm trying to see if there's anything else that might be green. Waves token 6% up, trading at $13. Yeah, very interesting time in the market. We're going to hear from Perry and Boring, who turns out that they are more in Bitcoin and Ethereum, not in the whole crypto space. That's what it's looking like to me. Zilliqa is up 6.5% on the 7-day, trading at 7 cents. Let's take a listen to Perry and Boring on Squawk Box here. I think it's interesting. Then we're going to look to someone who's a macro economist and a crypto investor on the Raoul Pal show. I think that is probably a better look. Perry says, what's going on with Bitcoin and crypto markets? It says Squawk Box. This is a quote from Perry. Bitcoin has only been around for 13 years. This is the first time that Bitcoin is experiencing a Fed tightening. Let's take a listen to what she has to say here. Interesting. All right, let's see.
Investors are selling their assets, including crypto. Is experiencing earnings.
What's your sense here? And what's your low? What's your high? What do you think's really happening?
Look, Bitcoin has only been around for 13 years, and this is the first time that Bitcoin is experiencing a Fed tightening. And what we're seeing is Bitcoin, as well as the larger crypto markets, respond like the stock market, at least in the short run. Look, Andrew, everything is down. The stock market's down. The bond markets are down. Crypto's down. This is the Wall Street mantra at play. Don't fight the Fed. The Fed's raising interest rates. It's unwinding its balance sheet. Investors are selling their assets, including crypto, to get more conservative. But what's different about the crypto markets is they're open 24/7. They don't close. So they're more liquid than traditional assets. And we saw crypto sell-offs throughout the weekend and throughout yesterday. Morning.
What's your sense here?
Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff from Perry and Boring. Let's take a listen to this lady here.
And whether the yield curve is telling us the right story. Love to hear your macro picture, and then we'll talk about how it might affect crypto as well.
Sure. So a few of the major cyclical, I would say cyclical factors that are going on, I think affecting risk assets and including crypto. We can argue, whether how much of a crypto it should be included in risk assets. If you're the core Bitcoin people, you say this is not a risk asset, but we can talk about that. But let's just say a few factors. Number one, obviously, everybody knows the Fed tightening cycle, right? We're just seeing the starting of that. And then number two, we got a high inflation. And right now, today is what? April 11th. Tomorrow, you're going to get the March inflation number. I think right now the consensus forecast is 8.5, 8.4. That would be the highest we see in decades, right? So you can argue whether that's going to slow down later this year. I think maybe because we get a higher base. But still, it's for this year at least, we're definitely not going to see 2. We're so far away from 2%. So that's squeezing everybody's purchasing power, right? On the retail side, that means you have less discretionary cash to allocate to assets.
Correct, and that's what I was saying in the live stream in the last couple of days as well. Consumer prices are dead again. People just have less money to put into the markets, and unfortunately, because in addition to what the Fed is doing, it is causing people to kind of have to liquidate sooner than they would hoped, than they would have liked, to perhaps meet some needs. But that is certainly going on. I heard Ms. Crypto Siege telling someone she had a business presentation yesterday with a group of people, and she was telling them how I went to the gas station to fill up my Lexus, and it costs. This is not an SUV, a big SUV. This is a regular, typical sedan, and it costs $75. $75. Yeah, think about that.
Asset purchases, you've got to cover your essentials first. On the institutional or the corporate side, you spend more on energy costs, you spend more on commodity costs. So that is going to squeeze everybody's liquidity. Thirdly, you see, even though the Fed officially, the rate tightening just started last month, but you already observed quite a bit of tightening in in financial conditions, right? So you see real rates going up really fast. And then you also see the liquidity conditions start to roll over from, indicators. If you look at base money, look at corporate cash positions, you look at, money market funds, asset positions, all of them start to roll over. So it's not like a market is in a liquidity crunch. We're like far from that, but it's starting to, it's off peak. It's starting to decline, right? So that trend is going to continue in the short term. And then, you have obviously risk asset markets have reflected that. And then you see NASDAQ dropping 20% since the end of December to like March, some point in March. And then we rebounded a bit, but it's a pretty sizable drop, right? So, and that is affecting crypto. Because the two markets are still like very, very correlated with, you can call it portfolio rebalance or you can call it rotation, but there is same bunch of investors investing in these markets.
The same bunch of investors investing in this market. And again, that has always been the challenge, right? Mass adoption. And again, with the YouTubers who warn you of nations picking up Bitcoin as their legal tender, do we want the same, again, do we want the same group of people trading amongst each other, or do we want to increase the size of the pie? Just think about that for a second. She just said that the same crypto people are trading amongst each other. It's the same group of people.
So if their equity will be the bigger side of the portfolio, if that part is down, if you try to rebalance your portfolio, it's affect other smaller risk asset markets as well. And then you have dollar going up. I think DXY just hit 100 a few days ago, right? So you're in this kind of environment where inflation is going up, and everybody's, you see more and more central banks start tightening, but the U.S. Federal Reserve is at the forefront of this, and you see rates going up, and then that means everybody's, when you need to repay your debt, you need to pay more.
Yep.
In terms of dollar debt. And also, the rate differentials between U.S. and other countries start to reduce. So that will, increase the demand for dollars as well. So overall, I think in the short term, you see dollar strength. And that is negatively correlated with risk assets. And actually, a while ago, I posted on Twitter, if you look at the correlation between dollar and gold and commodities, and S&P, and NASDAQ, and Bitcoin and crypto, it's actually Bitcoin and crypto is most negatively correlated with the value of dollar. So that's another cyclical short-term headwind for the crypto market.
Yeah.
So and also.
So she's saying she's saying when the dollar is doing awesome, Bitcoin and crypto is not. And but when Bitcoin and crypto does well, the dollar will not be doing as well. Think about that.
This is something more specific to crypto is what I call the recession in on-chain economies. So if you look at the activities of different layer 1 blockchains or layer 2 blockchains, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or the newer ones, Near, Avalanche, Solana, Arbitron, all these different chains. You look at the transaction levels and wallet growth, they all rolled over. So the Bitcoin and Ethereum hit the highest activity level in this cycle back in May. Since then, we had another peak in November, but that was a relatively smaller peak. Still, the highest level of activities we see.
Yeah, it wasn't
is
confirmed by activity. It was price a new high, but not an activity, I think.
Yeah. So on one hand, you can argue, well, there is tremendous reflexivity in these markets. So when market going up, obviously people trade more and people are more enthusiastic to use the chains more, right? And the opposite is true too. So on one hand, you can say these, reduction of on-chain activities maybe is just a reflection of price actions.
The cryptoverse is an incredibly exciting place, and it's going to be absolutely massive.
Yes, it is going to be absolutely massive. So here's the same lady. Check this out. This is only a minute. This is her prediction for overall what's going on in crypto. They stopped that short, and I can't go to Real Vision Crypto and share it. I think because I get a strike if I do. Let's take a listen to what she's saying.
When do you think the macro backdrop, the liquidity backdrop changes? Because that basically is your view, is this space is not going to expand unless we see a new application layer, which we'll talk about in a bit, or the macro conditions need to change significantly. So in your view, does crypto trade in this big sloppy range, or does it go lower, and for how long?
Yeah, that's a great question from Rob. But before we do that, guys, do me a favor. If you join this hangout, if you join the content, please hit the like button. If you're watching and hanging out and you haven't had an opportunity to subscribe to the channel yet, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you get notified whenever we upload a video or when we do go live. We got to fix this YouTube algorithm that's going on for sure with my channel. I don't know if it's a shadow ban or what's going on, but we are going to continue to put out content until we get it fixed for sure. And if you want to support the channel, you can always hit the super thanks heart there that you see on the video to support the channel as well. All right, let's take a listen. Continue to listen to Tasha.
You know, my short-term look will be trade in a range and go lower. It could have significant bounces, but I would not.
But do we make a new low versus last year, or do we retest those? You think
so?
We do?
So we have a major, like Bitcoin, for example, we have a major support in around 30K.
Yeah.
You know, if in the next few months, if we continue the tightening trend, and Fed balance sheets start shrinking, and we have liquidity continue to be squeezed by higher inflation, maybe we will break that support. So I don't know, but I just I think that the trend is either range or go down.
Either range or go down. Interesting stuff. She sounds like a very smart lady. Breaking news, says Watcher.Guru, Australia will list 2 Bitcoin ETFs and an Ethereum ETF on May the 12th. US can just hang out because the SEC is doing the bidding of the banks. But Australia is going to give opportunity for the retail as well, the average everyday Joe investor, or at least accredited, I think, with the ETFs. But, not the US. Congrats to Australia. May 12th, Bitcoin and freaking Ethereum ETFs. Eric Voorhees says something I think is hugely important to kind of get. People in TradFi, traditional finance, are making fun of UST, not realizing their stable coin also depegged by 8% this year. That is a good point. What else is there? Is this okay? So Ryan Sean M says, let's call it what it is. Luna was reckless, and now they're going to bring the wrath of the regulators on this industry. They'll demand stablecoin issuers be regulated like banks. They won't differentiate between the DAI Frax or UST. Who can blame them after this crap show? And Jake Travinsky. Not if I can help it. That is funny, dude. That is funny. Everybody's talking about it. Wise Crypto had an article about it. Assets across the board are getting pulled down in the market-wide weakness, but our attention was drawn to the drama happening with the largest decentralized stablecoin and its native network. Now, let me see if I have this. I'm going to end with this if I can find it. First of all, I got to figure out who is Citadel. Who is Citadel? Norio Rubini oversees the development of tokenized dollar replacement. Looks like I Am Legion has something going on there in his Patreon group talking about that. Norio Rubini? John Deaton put this out. Have no idea if this is accurate. Jacob Canfield said, rumor is Citadel is the culprit of this UST depegging. Citadel borrows 100,000 Bitcoin. They borrow it, trades 25,000 Bitcoin for UST, and they open a short, start dumping 75,000 BTC aggressively. Once BTC reached 30K, they started dumping UST to make it lose its peg. Now Do Kwon is forced to sell 25,000 Bitcoin at a major loss to recover the peg, further dumping the price of Bitcoin. Meanwhile, Citadel is shorting all the way. Interesting stuff. It says the same Citadel that the SEC refuses to go after. Refuses to go after? This is an interesting thing here from Jeremy Chang. When you deposit Bitcoin on CeFi platforms like Celsius and BlockFi, etc., you're essentially loaning your Bitcoin to be shorted by institutions like Citadel. So that's the word on the street. It says here, one of the world's most credit-worthy firms. The institute who is behind the USC loan attack is located inside the Genesis Trading Loan Book. A little birdie has already leaked their name. Taekwondo was offered to buy Bitcoin at a discount for UST. He took the bait. You leave it? Bye. Love you. So anyway, that's the word on the street on that one. Notice the Citadel because they shorted that run to 46K. The shorts are deep in profit. Now they can go long. Market maker moves. So there it is, the word on the street that it was Citadel who did it. Someone said here, I want everyone back in January. Wait until they ramp up their MEV heist after the ETH 2.0 merge. That's what we're dealing with, I guess, huh? All right, that's the word on the street, guys. This institution called Citadel, who apparently someone says the SEC won't go after. Has unveiled the closing of $1 billion over-the-counter swap of USTC for Bitcoin led by prominent digital currency prime broker Genesis. Says he took the bait. Interesting stuff there. So in any case, guys, that is the word on the street for today. I'm going to end my video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this, that old money doesn't want you to win. Apparently neither does Citadel, but that's okay though, because you and I are already winning. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.